microphone is muted, but has no signal. Oh, okay. That's interesting to know. Okay. A few more updates, obviously. Right, let's see if we've gone live. We'll go down here. There you go, she's gone red. You can always tell when it goes live because it goes red. You can see that. I don't know if you see that. It's quite light, dark actually. There you are. You can just see a bit there, it's gone red. That tells me it's on. So if I go a little bit lower, press the button. There you go, I can see what's going on. I can talk to people in real time. And I normally go on about now because I can get to people all around the world. So there you go. And also it writes it all out at the bottom. So if you've got it on English and subtitles, it writes it on at the bottom. So there you go. Okay, put that down there. Oh, looks like somebody's left the door light on. Okay, so how are you doing, guys? We've gone live, so I can take the recording off. I always have it on standby just in case it needs to go up and record it if I lose a signal. But there's a good signal at the moment, so we don't need that. Look at all the stars all over me. That's from that laser. I've got like a little projector that projects the moving image on the roof at the moment. Let's put that there. And you can see it going in different colours and everything. And yeah, it's pretty cool, like, you know. Anyway, guys, we'll do some music for you. Nothing's planned. I've just picked something as usual. And we'll see what comes up, shall we? We'll press one touch button. This looks like it could be one for Colin. Bit of T for two there. something a little different. T for two. So there you go. Yeah, I just basically picked out a beat and off we went. So So who's on board? We've got quite a few people on board in the back there. No one said no, but everyone's in the back. Thanks for joining us anyway, Ty. Hope everything's come through okay. I just updated. Normally when it updates things on software and that, you have to reconfigure things. Like everything's not configured at the moment, so that's pretty good. That means it's gone through okay. So it's all good. I quite like that one then. Oh, right, thank you very much. Let's have a quick look at the notify window, see if anything's coming through that's not working properly. No, looks like that upgrade's gone through a treat today. Normally we have some problems with the upgrades, but looks like that's gone through okay. SOUNDCLOUD is pretty good when it works well. When it's a pain in the arse, it's not so good. Okay, we're running about 30% on the CPU. 27 frames per minute, which is pretty good. Normally 30 is about standard. Got plenty of, we've got no drop frames, so that's good news. We've got 26,000 kilobytes working nicely. So that's running everything smooth. So you should be hearing nice and clear me, and also the image should be pretty good. Not bad considering we're nearly in the dark at the moment. I've got my projector screen going, and it's doing an image up there, and I got my remote control here so I can do some images and see what's going on. There you go, I'm going to switch it off, and then there's just the two lights in the background doing the image. So now I've also got a little plasma imager up there, that little bit there, like, and that shines up on the ceiling. As well as this one, if I basically do this, I don't know if we can get that off cable. If I shut these two lights off, and also this plasma, so we knock that one off. Okay, so it's gone dark there, and now I'm going to put this projector on. Look at the difference. Look at that. We've got stars, and it's also moving around. It's a nebula, that's what it is. It's one of these nebula things. I can change colours, I can make it go slowly, I can make it go fast, I can put more dots in, I can make it intensive. That's a nice one there, I like that one, the orange, and the red, and the purple coming through. You can also put on the lasers. What's more like, look at that, some laser lights all over there. They fade in and out. And we can also put them sound to light, which is pretty cool. Slow it down a bit, that's it, slow them down. On multi-colour effect from that, I quite like that colour now. It makes it look a little bit dark, but it's a warmer colour. That's pretty good. And we have that going like that, and then I'll put these backlights on again, and also the nebula. And what the nebula is basically a little LED light that's actually in a dome. So you can see now the actual nebula working as well as the dome on the ceiling, and it just gives that nice effect. I've also got the second camera set up for tonight, and that one is. Hang on, let's just right camera on. Turn that one off, put that one off. That one on. There you go. So basically when I played this one, like I did last week, you'll be able to see all my hands working like you did last week. A little bit grainy on there. I think that's probably because we got a little bit lower on the light. So if I put another light on here, that might give a nice effect. I'll bring that one up a bit. Yeah, that's not too bad. And that helps for the actual light, and then you don't get so many grains then, you see, because it's seeking. It's looking through the images, it's trying its best to see what's going on. So at the moment I've just put this, well actually what it is, it's a magnifying glass, and it's got a light at the back. And I think it picks up for a fiver or something on a car boot sale. Brilliant little thing. And sometimes I put one of the cameras on there and all like, but that's not bad, I like that effect. So I can either take that off or have that effect, but then there's too many grains, so if I put that takes out some of the grains, and it gives a nice little effect there. I quite like that. So we'll be playing that one later on. Let me just... I see if we can get back to the right camera. The third camera has been playing up, so I haven't mucked about with that one too much. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of that one and get myself a Logitech, what I've got in the actual office, because that thing represents all the basically Windows, and it recognises all the stuff that's made for Windows and that. And it's basically can set itself up automatically, and it gives a fantastic effect. Turn that one off for her. See, that's that light there. I've also got this one here. This is another big light. So this one I can run and all. That gives it quite effect. Let's just see what that one does. So if I take that light off again, well, that makes a good difference. No, I'm going to put that one on. No, not too bad. Yeah, that gives a quite good effect, doesn't it? Sport for choice now. So we can have that light on if I want. We can have blue, or we can have red, or we can have a light blue. Oh, that's light. Quite a nice effect, that was. Quite bright, that is. Oh, yeah, that is really a bright light. That's not a bad light at all, I think. I can got full control over it, so I can bring it up and down. I quite like that. I might just use that when I'm doing that keyboard, because that's a nice bright light. And you can see the camera's not struggling so much then. So I might use that one. I'm thinking about putting another camera at the back of me, like, so it shows me playing from the back on that keyboard. So lots of options going on at the moment. So we can get now, we'll just switch that one off for now. Find the button. Oh, there you go. And put that one back on there. So that's this big light here. I had on a minute ago, that one there. That gives a fantastic effect. It's actually got the phone in there, which when it's charged up, that one is the synthesizer. So, we've got stuff everywhere. I did do a quick photo video earlier on in the week, and I think you probably see it where it's scanning all around the studio, so people can see how it all works. And I've also got another YouTube channel I'm doing at the moment. This one's called 432 Hertz Earth Breath, or breath, yeah. My AI decided it was good sound, so it did all the actual information on there. And if you put into, and you have you look into the if you go put 432 HZ Earth Breath channel, that one's mine. I've set that one up basically to do all the actual, some of the stuff that I normally do, the 432 relax stuff, and put to video. And a lot of my fans have actually wanted long videos of that. So we did a 7-minute one, and that went down quite well. And then they kept saying, can you do a longer one? I thought, I think I could do a longer one. So what I did is I lengthened it up to 30 minutes, and that got even more people looking at it. So, and I've still got some fans saying, can you do an hour one? Well, I can't, but I can probably do some special techniques in the studio editing suite. There is some ways I can do that, but so next time there'll be some more of that sort of stuff. Keep an eye out for that. Come on board and follow me on that one. Subscribe, obviously, on YouTube. It's not follow, it's subscribe, isn't it? Yeah, subscribe to me on that one, and we'll try and get some more out on that one. I'm also doing one for the Range Rover Register, which is the club I'm in for my Range Rover, and they wanted someone that can do all YouTube stuff, so that one's in there and all. If you look actually on my, I think basically if you look on my YouTube, there's some links off to that. So yeah, I've got 3 YouTube channels I'm looking at the moment, keeping them going. 2 are mine, and the other one's the Range Rover Register. So the club I'm in for my Range Rover. And also, if you looked earlier on, you would have seen another album I've done. Now, this one is a little bit different because it's on a different site. Now, the reason I've gone onto this site is I'm 110% behind this website because it's hopefully going to be one to, how can I say this, be a rival to Spotify. If it goes well, it could do really, really well. There's a guy I got to know on Index, the worldwide business website that does all business around the world for companies and CEOs and things like that. Got to know this CEO in Germany, and he's done a website that's making it like we're going back to the old days, like that. So basically, if you want to listen to a music, you store your money on the website. You know, like you'd store about £20 or something in a security thing, and you can use a bit of that money to listen to your music. Now, the reason doing it that way, instead of having a subscription, it doesn't do subscriptions, it doesn't store music, so this is why it can do everything cheap. It doesn't charge the earth for people to listen to music, but it doesn't, you can't download it. It's a radio station really, basically, but you're paying to listen to whatever music you want. Early stages yet, but it could take off really well. It's got lots of following. There's over a few thousand people following there. And actually, a few thousand artists have come on from Spotify back onto this sort of thing. And the reason why it works is because on my new album, if you listen to 432 Relax number 5, I'm steadily bringing all my albums onto this one. And I'm only charging 95 pence to listen to the whole album. You can't store it because it's not available. It's not even on there. It's probably on the website back in Germany somewhere, I don't know, or a copy of my music on there. And also the tracks, if you want to listen to the tracks, they're 5p a time. So very, very little money, okay? It's not as if you're listening to Spotify and you're paying £10-15 a month. So basically, you took £10 a month, okay, that you're listening to Spotify, all music and that, what you want, that's great. It hasn't got big artists in there at the moment because the simple reason is, well, actually, it's got rid of many AI music. I see this week it's deleted thousands and thousands and thousands of AI music because people were putting AI music on there. and it can detect that. But this website here is for artists like myself, proper artists that play music, not AI. And basically, we are charging minimum little money. So to listen to one of our tracks is 5p. To listen to the album, it's less than £1. It's probably about 95 pence, I think. And you go on the website from my link if you wanted. You just join that website. It's like Spotify, but all you do is you're storing the music what you want. Or you're basically, well, you're storing it on the website, yeah, but you're not actually downloading it. That's the thing. You can't download it to a different device. But being like that, believe it or not, that 95 pence, I will get probably 60 pence out of that. So that's, okay, 60 pence. We're talking about very, very little money. But I would never get that if I streamed that on Spotify, because it would take 3 months to actually qualify. It would be under the actual amount that Spotify give us artists. We have to have something like about £25 we have to build up before we actually get anything. You'd have to have something like about 25,000 streams, which is damn near impossible. So you're never going to do it. They're just taking your music and using it. This way, that I would get 60 pence, you know. Now, if I did have a music track that went 12,000 downloads, which has happened before on Spotify, and somebody's paying me 60 pence for 12,000, I'm going to make a good living out of that. But also, you're going to save money because you're not getting charged £10 a month for 12 months, which is being rip-off money. That's about 100 and whatever some odd. If you put 100 and some odd pound in there for a year, what you're paying for Spotify, you'd have a lifetime music there on this website because it doesn't charge you hardly anything. The artists on here are charging minimum of £1 to listen to an album. Now, say that album came out and you didn't know what it's going to be like. Okay, you won't see me on any of the Spotify or anything like that because I don't stream. But on here, you'd listen to it and you'd work out if you like it or not. Now, if you did like it, what you could do then is go onto BANDCAMP. Now, that is a website that I can let you download streams or download the music. I think it's a little bit more. It's about £6 my albums. So instead of, you've tried this one off like, you know, you've either liked it or you haven't liked it. If you like the album, you want to download it as a digital copy or something, it's £6, which is fair enough. And also £1 for every track. This is basically what I would say is your one that you can try out. There's a new album out, I'm going to try that one, see if I like it. If I like it, that's great. I can download it on BANDCAMP. Another thing is, if you wanted a CD from that one here, good chances there will be a link off to the website that does my albums and CDs. So then you can actually link it over there, and you can go, okay, well, I like the album, but I also I'd like a CD version of it, a hard copy. So then you'd go to the next link, and that would be the company that makes my CDs and my vinyls. So it's good for me, and also it's dry. One, if you want an album that someone's brought out, one of your artists, don't go to Spotify if you're paying way over the top. Store that music, store that money on this website, and use it like that. That's your piggy bank, £10. £10 there, it'll last you possibly ages, you know. You're looking about £1, less than £1 to listen to an album to work out if you like it or not. And if you do like it, then you go to BANDCAMP and do it that way. If you go Spotify, yeah, okay, you're going to get a big range at the moment. They've been going on a while. And they've been ripping off artists left, right and centre. So this is why you'll find out that a lot of artists are coming off Spotify, all the proper artists like myself, and and none of the stuff is staying on Spotify. Spotify realised that this week, because they've downloaded and they've looked into it. I looked on one of the sites for the music there, and they said that they've actually got rid of 200,000 AI music-related stuff, because some of the big artists that they had before, they're not going to waste their time on Spotify anymore because we don't get paid, we get ripped off. And we're not having it anymore, so that's why we're going to different sites. And this is one of them that's starting to get a lot more people on board. And the money is so low that you could use a £10 and you could listen to loads and loads of songs. And if you like it, obviously go over to something else, like, to BANDCAMP, download it as a hard disk, or download it as a digital format. Obviously you pay for it, so whatever that they're charging. I only charge £6 for an album to download. If you want the CD version, it's £11. If you want the vinyl version, it's £27, because that's the going rate for vinyls now. But the qualities, I've showed you one of my albums before. They are absolutely perfect qualities, and most of my stuff's done on AI for the images and all that, and they come out really beautiful, crystal clear. So there's the option. This is called SOUNDCLOUD. Now, DV is obviously German because the guy is a German guy, and the company is in German, so you have to put the DV in the end. So it's just songs.dv. It's going to take over Spotify in a few years' time, but it's going to take a little while to get there. We've got over a few thousand people on there, and I got talking with this guy and helping him out a bit, and I'm basically his tester. If there's anything that's wrong, then I'll get back to him and say, as we come in there, I'm looking at this, and I'm finding that this is not working, and if I go to there, that doesn't work very well. So I'm giving him the feedback, and we get on really well, actually. To know quite each other well there. So basically, we're close on to about, I don't know, probably 200,000, I don't know. There's a lot more people on board now, and I have a feeling that these artists like myself have come off Spotify and going onto this website, and it's called SOUNDCLOUD. So check it out, and you'll find out that you can listen to any album on there, and the most they're charging is £1, but remember, it is a radio station. This is why it's cheap, because we're not storing music on there. It's basically the artists are copying it, and they're storing it in a hard drive, a massive hard drive, or something like commercial hard drive. So yeah, I'm 110% behind that idea. I think it's great. I think it's fair for the fans, and I think it's fair for the artists. And it should have been there before streaming was ever involved. That should have been the next step. A radio station that you listen to, but you pay for a very, very low price. As I say, for a track there, it's 5 pence. On BANDCAMP, if you listen to a track of mine, it's £1. It's just different. So you can download it from BANDCAMP and store it onto your machine when you bought that on £1. So this way you can't, but it does go to the artist. Even if you listen to the 5 pence, I would get 3 pence. And we do get it. Actually, I think it comes at the end of the month or something. So whatever we accumulate like that. It's a great way of doing it because it's fair for the artist, it's fair for the actual customer and the fan. So check it out. It's called songs.dv. Okay, all you do is you get on there. Obviously, you're registered to get on there, so you've got to log in and log out, this that thing. But then, of course, it's like your radio station. It's your online radio station, and you can actually do that. For artists, obviously, you just go into the next bit, fill out the next bit, and then you're an artist. And that's how we put our music on there. and it's all 100% royalties. It's their own, basically. Artists have their own music on there. There's 100% royalty. Then they actually get 100% royalty back. Money would come from it. So yeah, I think it's fair for the artist, and it's definitely fair for the fan. I never ever have agreed with Spotify, and a lot of people that know me realised that a long time ago I was still saying no way I might put music on Spotify. And funny enough, some of the artists laughed at me at the time, but then it's funny enough, they're coming back on, they come out of that, and I think hopefully if they listen to me and go on to this one, there's a good chance that you'll actually start getting paid and not waste a lot of money trying to actually get well known on Spotify, because they don't pay, They don't pay it. It's a terrible guy, that Daniel guy. It's absolutely rip-off merchant. So, yeah, Song TV, that's what it's like. Oh, I love it. Let's do somebody. There's the crowd. Dear. The critics, where's the critics gone? Critics?
Shift to C major.
Yeah, I guess she used to do a major.
Yeah, she always comes in every now and again, that one always comes in and out again. Chinese, Chimu, Mechi, Waja, or something like that.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. The phone's just come up now. Yeah, just gotta put the phone back on. There you go, phone's on. Yeah, now I've got to get my voice back. Yeah, is that, no, that's me.
Yeah, that's me. Oh dear, love these box of tricks. It's only £30, this thing is unbelievable. It does so many things. I can even have 3 phones running off it on a Bluetooth. I haven't figured out how it works, but apparently you can run 3 phones off it with the voices. Obviously the phones will do the actual camera, and this thing can do Bluetooth from 3 phones. I'm still yet to work out. I've got the instructions, and of course the instructions, you can't see a bloody thing, so what you have to do, you have to get some glasses that's times 4, and then you can see roughly what the damn thing's on about. Yeah, reading glasses at that stage. I did look into lasering actually, but stupid price. Thought no, I think we'll just stick with 4 times glasses, they'll do me for reading. They look quite cool on them and all, they're quite good and nice. I'll never see this, we've got everything going on at the moment. No, probably not, I can't get all this lot. Oh, hang on, let's take these sides off. Take these bits off, I can actually get the thing on and can't. So, you can see what it looks like. He says I can't get anything on. There you go. There you go then, what are you in, guys? Yeah, they were too bad, didn't they? Yeah, they were pretty good actually, 17 quid. Yep, eBay. Now what's the things, just have to put them back on. I have these on here, so when I've normally got them on, don't fall off my ears and I'll lose the glasses. So just put them back on there like that. And normally they'll go around the back of my head. And then if the glasses fall off my head, there you go. That's it. Yeah, perfect. So, there you go. Nice bit of lively music there. And seen it quite pretty well. Hope you enjoyed some of my stuff I've been putting on Facebook and all, like running around the garden. I spent about 5 hours on my hands and knees pulling every single wheel. Just for no reason really, I just enjoyed doing it, I think. Okay, that's that cha-cha again, isn't it? It's not a cha-cha.
You guys are so great.
Oh, she did call me then. Didn't think we're going to pay her tonight. Okay, yeah. So yeah, check it out. The YouTube 432 Hertz Earth Breath. If you want a relaxation, chill out music. And my phone's gone off again. Gets bored, it does. Every time you don't go anywhere near it or say anything, it just gets bored. There you go, we're back on again. If I go on there and I'm monitoring everything, I'm alright then. Okay, yeah, that's alright. It's coming through pretty well, hasn't it? It's nice. So let's just pop that over there. So yeah, it's going to be quite busy for you guys to have a listen to the music now. So on this new website, which is SOUNDCLOUD, yeah, and it's basically a radio station, I suppose you could call it, really. But you're actually paying to listen to the music. You're not actually paying monthly though, you're not paying extraordinary amounts, and at the end of the year you're not paying a rip-off amount of money. So, I mean, Spotify is about £9, isn't it, a month? I mean, the family package is £16. That is ridiculous. I mean, you just need to put £20, the kitty, for this website. You can listen for about months and months and months and months and months. And then you take a fortune. So you've got to get, for artists, got to get the music off Spotify and come onto this website. It's brilliant. Song.de, and you actually get paid for it. Okay, you're not waiting around 3 months and that sort of crap, like, you are actually getting money. So basically, if someone listens to one of your tracks and you're charging 5p for you to listen to that track, you will come out with 3p. Now, 3p sounds a lot better than getting nothing from Spotify. But you say a few thousand people are listening to that track and they're giving you 5p. You're going to be eating and paying your bills, and yeah, that's the thing. That's why this website's been set up. So it's fair for the artists. You've probably seen all the adverts around there and AIs imitating the artists and that sort of thing. It's true, basically. People do think that music is free. It's not, because we use electricity and things like that to run things. But we actually make our money through the albums and things like that. And this is why this website's been set up between me and the CEO and a few more others. Because it helps Spotify ripping off people, like, you know. So basically, it's a website. You go on there, you put music on there, you charge. I think I charge £1, about 90p for an album. So you can listen to 10 tracks on my album for 90p. If you like it, that's great. You go to BANDCAMP, and then if you want to download it as a download, that's great, because this website doesn't hold any music, and it doesn't have things that we have to go through, algorithms, and that doesn't go anywhere. So it's basically quite a bog standard thing. But it does the job. It's simple. It does the job. It's a radio station. But you pay whatever money you want to actually listen to this record. So, I mean, the maximum amount is about 5p, I think it is. Where, you know, which there, 5p for a track. Instead, I mean, if you go on a Bandcamp, you can download that track from me for about £1, you know, which is mostly what artists charge then. Because it's stored on Bandcamp, so obviously that's a little bit more money. And you're downloading music. Here you don't download the music, you just listen to the music. But by listening to it, you're actually paying the artists, and the artists are actually getting money because we don't have no barriers on this thing. And it should come along a lot quicker before these streaming sites and these companies that decided to grab our music. So you're going to have a big deal, we get all this money. But yeah, you didn't tell us you were going to fucking up with all the actual percentages or anything, did you? No. It's saying that, oh yeah, you get some, we only get a bit of money if basically one of our songs has got 0.000.1, and then we might get 1.1 people, bloody point there don't even exist. I don't know where people actually thought of that lot. If it was something fair, like, yes, okay, for every music you listen to, you will get 5p and we'll get 3p and you get 2p, like something like that. It would be fair, but no, they've done these stupid algorithms, so it made it for themselves. And all it is, these people that came in the middle that decided, grab his music, we got something there, we got a platform, so now we can actually put over to the other people and rip them off. Now we're going to charge him over the earth to listen to this, and then say to this artist, he's going to get this percentage and he's going to get this royalty. No, he ain't, he's going to get nothing. You just nicked all the stuff and ripped us off. So, yeah, I'm not happy about Spotify. That's why I never went near it. But this yes, it is very, very good because one, it's fair for the artists and fair for the fans. Orange. And we got some people. Oh, hi, how you doing? Right, I haven't a clue what we're playing. Not another one then. No, we don't want all that. Let's get something else. Here's a nice one. Killers there, and also Coldplay, and it went well. That didn't actually. Thought, well, I think I'll put that to that one. As you know, I play by ear, and I never plan anything. It's just whatever comes along, I'll just play it. If you look on BANDCAMP, you'll see there's about 30 albums. Each album has whatever I put at the note. I've got Beatles albums, I've got all ABBA albums, I've got all sorts. Check it out. Link is somewhere down there. Yeah, so what we got here? Really? No. Oh, there we go.
Awesome!
Oh, well, I thought that, yeah. So I'm pressing buttons here, and every time I press the button, someone says something. Oh, what? Okay. It's all good fun. Okay, we're going to change cameras. We're going to change cameras. We're going here. So now what I have to do is put the light on. Otherwise that camera might be struggling. That's one on the roof. They go, what? You got on a camera on the roof? Yeah, I've got a camera on the roof. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so now we move to this one. They're 40-year-old, this is 30-year-old. And it sounds a little bit different, this one does. effects on this one. As you can see, there's a control button there, control panel there, control panel there, control panel there. We got quite a few things here. Including a synthesizer ball. Synthesizer ball. Could do all effects like Blade Runner on this thing, because this is when it came out. Blade Runner. Love it. Okay, what are we going to do now? I haven't a clue. Let's just go find something, shall we? That's nice, isn't it? Okay, a little bit of Stranger on the Shore. Stranger on the Shore. A little bit different now. Ooh, we've got a synthesizer. Probably one for Colin here. Okay, a little bit of reggae. This one is Blondie. Reggae! Can't beat a reggae. Can't beat a reggae, you can't. You can't beat a reggae. And you can't beat one of these. This one actually is a bit more modern. This one's a bit of erasure. Just trying to remember how this goes. No, that's not it. And that mixed up with some of those now. Respect. can't beat a bit of Erasure. Here's another one that a lot of my fans like. They're from a band called OMD. This is Nola Gay. Crikey, I can't believe the time. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to put this one on YouTube later on. Join me for the Sunday chill, where we've got 2 more keyboards downstairs and more microphones and cameras. It's been great, I enjoyed it, thank you very much for joining me. Or if, like a lot of my fans, they listen to later on because I'm on later. Or in America, hi, how you doing? Okay, we're going to do this one then. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, check out SOUNDCLOUD.ee. Okay, that's the ones where all the music's going to be on. Let's slow it down a bit. This is Thank You for the Music.